So here I am on the west side of Coal Valley in one of the limestone hills which surround the valley. And this outcrop is a good illustration of a couple of things. This gray limestone, you can see that it actually has shells preserved here, this fossilized shells. But what we're really interested in is these orange and sort of white seams in between the gray. And what those are cryptocrystalline silicate, often called chert or jasper, which is a tool material. So prehistoric peoples could have made their stone tools out of these kinds of cherts. And they're available everywhere throughout Coal Valley.
Given the abundance of chert in Coal Valley, we expect that most of the rock or lithic artifacts that we will find will be of this material. When archaeologists survey an area, they line up at a set distance apart, usually 20 to 30 meters away from each other, and walk at the same pace across the survey area. If anyone sees an artifact or feature, everyone stops and then joins the finder to inspect the area closely, marking each artifact or feature with a pin flag. In Nevada, if we discover two artifacts within 30 meters of each other, it is an archaeological site. If we only find one artifact, it is considered an isolated find. In each case, we note its coordinates using a very precise GPS, photograph all tools, and collect detailed notes. There are site forms that must be filled out for every archaeological site that describe the site's setting and the attributes and measurements of each artifact and feature. In Coal Valley, after surveying just over 2,100 acres, we discovered 70 archaeological sites and 39 isolated finds. These artifacts ranged in age from an old Coca-Cola bottle to the oldest artifact types found in the Americas, Clovis and stem points. We found all types of lithic or rock tools in Coal Valley, including projectile points such as those that tipped arrows and atlatl darts, and spears. And many of the western stem points were ground on their margins to prevent their sharp edges from cutting through their hafting material or sinew. We also found maintenance and manufacturing tools such as scrapers, drills, awls, perforators, and flake tools. As predicted, most of the tools and the lithic debitage from their manufacturer were of local cryptocrystalline silicate or chert. We also found stone tools used to grind plant materials such as seeds. But most exciting for us is that we found what we were looking for, evidence of the earliest peoples to live in Coal Valley.
So here we're looking at an artifact as we found it in the field. So you can see that we look for shapes. Oftentimes obsidian will glint. We'll look for that as well. But you can see that this concave base and this distinct sort of shaped object is different from the natural gravels. So we were really excited to find that this artifact has flutes going up from its base. It's concave base and has flutes. That means it's a Western Clovis or fluted type, which is the oldest or one of the oldest in the Americas. So this artifact was probably manufactured 12 to 14,000 years ago. And that's really exciting to find in Coal Valley. So here we're on the same site that we found the Clovis on, and we also found a lot of Great Basin stem. But this is another typical Great Basin Paleo-Indian artifact, and this is a crescent. In particular, it's a butterfly crescent. You can see that if you held it this way, it sort of looks like a butterfly. It has wings, and it's very formal. So this is another artifact that is characteristic of the Paleo-Indians.